Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm a wedding portrait photographer from here in Melbourne, Australia. I wanted to take you through something different today. I wanted to sort of talk to you about the lenses that I'm using for my A6500 that I've just purchased. I thought that we'd go through that together, and I'd talk to you about the advantages of using one lens as against the other and the lenses that I'm actually using. And there's reasons why I've purchased those as against full frame lenses. So I thought that we'd go through that together and we'll look at those now. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is I'd take you through each lens that I'm using. Now, if you look at one of my previous videos, I spoke to you about what I use on the full frame side for weddings. But now that I'm getting more and more into video, and even using some still from these cameras, because the A6500 and 300 is actually still very good for stills as well, I've decided to use more of the native lenses for the A6500 that I've just bought. There was some issues that I found initially because to go through it, one of my favourite shooting lenses is the 35mm. So I use this all the time. This is the FE 1.4 35. This is a full frame lens, and I was using this on my A6300 before I got this A6500, but the issue is when I do that, obviously the focal length changes by 1.5, so it ends up becoming, you know, around about a 50mm, and that for my normal shooting is a little bit close. I tend to like the 35mm for a lot of the shots that I do of the bride and things like that. It's just a nice focal length that I tend to work with, and it's also a great street shooting length, focal range. So what I did was I purchased the 24mm 1.4. This is a Sony lens. It's not stabilized though, but the 6500 is stabilized. So I get that benefit from using that as well. But the beauty of this is it's a 1.8 lens, it's a 24mm, so that gives me around about a 36mm. So it's that perfect length that I tend to work with. So this probably now will stay on the camera a lot of the time. It's also 1.8, so it's nice and shallow. And the close focusing of this is pretty amazing. It gets down to about 6 inches, so it's pretty good for macro work as well. I mean, not true macro 1:1, but it still gives you a nice close result. So I'm really happy with that. One of the other lenses that I use too is the 50mm. So I'm using this lens for that. Now this is the full frame one though. It's the 35 f2.8 lens. Now when I put it on the crop factor, this gives me about a 50mm focal range. So I do use this as well to give me that 50mm look. That's the one that I use, even though it is a full frame lens. Another favourite lens that I use is the 85. Now to get that focal length with this, I could buy the 50mm Sony A6500 lens, but I think that I can't really use that in the full frame, so I've decided to stick with my 55mm. So I'm using the FE 55 1.8, so that's given me around the 85mm length focal range using that. And the beauty is too, I can use that on my full frame camera as well. If I want to go a bit wider, I've got the 20 2.8. This again is the APS-C lens, so this is the true lens for the A6500. It's a 2.8 aperture, so that's not bad at all, and it's a really good pancake lens. So this is a great lens if you want to work in tight. If you want to have, you know, a very small light lens that's on your camera, it's a great lens for that as well. Another lens that I use all the time is the 10 to 18. This is if I want to go really wide. I can put this one on. It also works on the full frame as well. You get about 12 to 16 on full frame. So I have used this on my full frame as well. It's an f4 lens. Again, it's very small. It's a great lens. It's nice and sharp, and it really is nice and wide for this camera as well. So I'm using that a lot. The other lens I use all the time for my macro work is this lens. It's the Sony. It's the 3.5-30 macro. So again, you know, it's around about the 50mm. It's a great lens for doing macro work, and I've reviewed this before, and I've actually showed some of the wedding images I've taken with it. So you could have a look at that too to see what those images look like. So I suppose the APS-C ones, if we're looking at them, are these ones. So I've got the 10. If you could only get 3 lenses, basically this, or 4 lenses, I'd be getting those. It's the 10 to 18, it's the 30mm macro, and it's the 24 1.8. Now I'm also using at the moment, I've got the 18-105 on the camera here that I'm using. I'm filming with a 6300, so I'm using that as well. I love that lens. The 18-105 is an unbelievable lens. It's a great focal length, and it has the motorized zoom. It's stabilized. So I use that all the time for video and even still photography. You'll see I did a video, if you go back, where I reviewed this, and I used it in New Zealand on a trip we went on, and you'll see the results that lens has given me. So they're the main ones, and like I said, I am using some full frame ones. The full frame ones is this one, which is the 2.8 35, and that was it. That's the only full frame lens I think I'm using. Oh, and the 55. I'm using the 55 as well to give me that 85 focal length. So if you have any questions on that, leave me a message below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I can tell you the reasons why I'm using them, and you can give me your reasons of what your favourite lenses are as well. And yeah, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So that's all for now. Bye.